And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Odie.
No, I'm with
I went to get you to move over a little bit, Greg. You're about halfway out of that.
I left more room. Odie's so much bigger on TV, you know.
We were talking about Odie and being off, and I just accidentally said, "Oh, Odie." There, he's in Jackson for a meeting.
Yes. He likes to meet.
Yeah, somewhere they're going to say, "How'd you get that Harley up on the high dive there, Odie?"
Don't answer that phone, Nudin.
Jenifer Branning joins us this morning along with Senator Jeff Tate. Good morning to y'all.
Good morning.
Morning.
The day before. Jeff, you're going to need to move over a little bit too. Half of you is in the screen. There we go. Little red shirt there. We want to remind you of this. Now, Greg, me and you were talking before we went live about travel. Let's get into this just a little bit.
Be patient. Be kind. Remember, it's Thanksgiving. You know, let that sink in. It's one of the busiest travel weeks of the year. Leave early. Give yourself plenty of time. Please don't text and drive. Just pay attention. Enjoy this time of the year. And, hey, you know, it's okay to be fashionably late.
It is.
The dressing ain't going to spoil. Ain't no Uncle So-and-so ain't going to eat all the deviled eggs. Slow down. But it's normally a very hectic, busy time.
I know last year, and I know for sure it was last year, we had a fatality in the area on an interstate.
Seems like we do every year. This week we have a bad wreck, and I just hope and pray that we don't this year. Like I said, people just slow down. And also be kind. Remember, you know, that a lot of these people don't know where they're at. And I'm one of the first ones to say, my Lord, what's that idiot doing in that lane? Well, guess what? They don't know what lane. They're not from here, people. Let's extend our best to them. Make them feel welcome. Yeah. Don't wave at them with that Hollywood wave.
That California howdy.
Yeah. Just be nice.
Often get misplaced in downtown of what street's one way and what just about everything is turned one way, hasn't it? And it's just, I forget which one it is. I've turned left in the wrong way before. It's easy to do. And I often see it there in front of Chili's. Taking that right-hand turn down through there. Y'all ever have that out in Marion?
Well, I had that in Jackson earlier this week, and I used the knowledge and the wisdom that Greg Chatham gave on this show a few weeks ago, that whenever you're about to turn on a street and every single car is facing you, that's probably not the way you're supposed to go. And so I think of you, Greg, every single time that happens. That happened last week in Jackson.
It can happen in the blink of an eye.
That's right, because a lot of these people don't know. And again, y'all know I don't like technology, but a lot of these folks is listening to Siri and Alexis and whoever else they can listen to.
Yeah.
They're not reading a map. And if the phone tells them to take a right, some of them, I believe, if it was off a cliff, just like the Coyote and
I've seen it.
They'd run off a cliff if that phone told them to take a right. Use some common sense. And like Jeff said, when you're meeting everybody, you might be going the wrong way.
One last thought on this. Stay in the right lane. Do not travel in the left hammer lane.
But it's so much smoother over
It is.
here.
It is. We hear that a lot. That's where people go in the wrong direction. You will meet them on a hill. Stay in that right lane. I know that it is, as Greg just pointed out, it usually is a little bit smoother.
Oh, yeah.
But stay in the right lane. We have more head-on wrecks of people on 4 lanes that are confused of where they are. They'll be in that left-hand lane when you top a hill. Stay in the right-hand lane.
You cannot pass in the emergency lane, even though you've got one 18-wheeler running 70.5 and the other one running 70.3.
That's correct.
Side by side.
Can't do that.
Again, has to be a good time to stop and get a cold Coca-Cola and just let them go on about their business. Have a Coke and a smile.
Or diet if you're low carb.
That's right.
Boy, we like those a whole bunch there. So whatever kicks your morning as we do coffee, you two seem to kind of do a little mixing.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with that. As we get ready for today, have y'all already got Thanksgiving planned? Where y'all going?
Oh, yes.
Your house?
I've already done most of my cooking. A lot of it is in the freezer. I do a fabulous crawfish dressing for my family.
Oh.
And so it's already put together. We actually travel to the deer camp, and we have Thanksgiving there.
It'll be fun. Now, let me ask this. What day is it that it's too late if you hadn't thawed your turkey? Because it takes...
Today, it needed to have been out yesterday.
Okay. But you're pushing it if you take it out of the freezer today?
You need, well, I ain't
Depends
gonna
on
get
what
into
size it
those
is.
FDA
really?
rules and all. If you got a big fat turkey, you're going to be pushing it to get it.
Black
thawed
Friday,
out.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I know there was a day. I just didn't know how long. And it does not work to put it in a microwave to try to defrost it, right? That doesn't work.
I don't know.
Oh, I'd try it.
It's better than
I don't recommend.
Don't recommend. Okay. I am not a cook. I would, if it weren't for the goodness of others, I would never eat.
I put mine in the refrigerator last week
Okay.
to make sure.
There you go.
When you
And
drop them in that grease, if there's still ice in there,
it's a mess.
Watch out.
And what is the best? Is it the traditional baking, or everybody move to the deep the fry? Because I really like that deep fry, the skin on it.
I'm not big on a smoked turkey anymore. I love to fry turkeys.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna fry about 7 of them. Turkey breast.
You got a crowd coming if you're doing 7.
Well, everybody wants one. I like turkey. I like fry. Inject them with that Creole butter.
Oh yeah.
But don't fry them in your living room, no matter how convenient it is, so you can see the TV. Get out, make sure you're careful, and remember, don't put water on a grease fire if you do have grease.
What are you supposed to put on it?
Powder,
Like is an Arm and Hammer,
as in whatever you can grab.
flour, that kind of-
Flowers, whatever. Put it out. Put it
Okay.
out. Put it out.
So do y'all do deep fried or y'all do baked? Which is
We oven roast our turkey mostly, but I have had deep fried and they're fabulous. But I just have not perfected that personally. I have a method. I just use the oven and it always turns out great.
350 degrees, 3.5 minutes per pound, and I always add 5 minutes for good measure.
man, this man has it down to
Yeah.
a
Does.
an
I'll
art.
tell you what.
Well, you gotta be careful because that's a lot of hot grease.
Oh, it is. But I'm telling you, I could just make a meal out of the skin off of those deep fried ones. It has a flavor, whatever you inject in it.
And
like,
it's got to be healthy. Anything, in that
Oh,
much
yeah.
grease frying that long, you got to be cooking the impurities out of it.
heaven's gonna be full of Southerners, isn't it? It's fried chicken.
With a
We're
little
all-
turkey grease in the corner of your mouth.
We'll be right back as we begin this, as we'll talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is it, all about the election that is coming up. We'll be right back. As the seasons change, so do your clothes. And Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve. Also Hulk shirts. And America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church. And nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need to keep you dry in those wet conditions. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. The tractors are rolling at Freeman Tractor on Highway 494. Drop in and see Keith, Cornbread, or Buttermilk. They've got a tractor that fits the need that you have. Whether it's a 26 horsepower, a 40, or bigger. Plus, they offer 0% financing for up to 96 months. Whether it's a part, a new tractor, 0% financing, or just simply a laugh. 601-626-8759, Highway 494 in Collinsville. That's Freeman Tractor. Have you been wanting your own building, your own shed? Speak to our friends at Best Sadia Building, 601-728-1954. Now, they can custom build you a home from a barn dominium. Maybe it's a shed that you're needing, or a simple place to park your car, a garage, a camp house. Maybe you need a place to park your tractor, your motorcycle, or even that lawnmower. They can custom design whatever it is you need. Quality work, trustworthy, Best Sadia Buildings. Speak with Drew, 601-728-1954. And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Greg filling in for Odie. He went to the high dive contest with, is it a Shriners Convention? What do you go to?
Nothing.
He's out for business is all we know.
If he don't act right, they gonna get his tie tack and the secret code back. No, he had a meeting in Jackson today, and wish him safe travel. 'Cause
Yes,
I know
sir.
there's a lot of folks on the road.
It is. Dylan Ray's going to be coming in, I think, late Wednesday. He'll be making his way back home. We ain't seen him in.
Now I got to ask, how long's his list?
Oh,
I know
boy.
every time the young man comes home, you got to.
Oh, he's got a bunch to fix.
Son, I'm so glad to see you. But by the way,
Here,
if you'll
fix it.
this, and this.
That old saying of when your kids come, he has to. That's stuff I just don't understand up in here. As we move to tomorrow, it's the big runoff election for Mississippi Supreme Court. Joining us now, Miss Jenifer Branning. Jenifer, how in the world are you feeling today?
Fantastic. I'm so happy that tomorrow is the big day. Been looking forward to this for weeks and weeks. And so I'm just here to visit with y'all today to remind all of your listeners that they need to get out and vote one more time in the Supreme Court race. Very important for the future of Mississippi.
When did you make the announcement that you were? Has it been over a year? How long?
February the 1st is the day that I qualified.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It has. It has. But it's been a great experience on the campaign trail. I've met so many great Mississippians throughout the Central District and have just been overwhelmed by the amount of support we've received.
And let me ask this, for Mississippians who are sitting back going, well, yeah, I'm kind of busy tomorrow. Explain to me things that may have happened in the past, the way they were voted on, the difference of having you voting and how it affects Mississippi. Does that question make sense, what I'm saying? Of
I think so.
Issues in the past that have been voted on, how it turned out with someone that doesn't vote conservative is what I'm getting at.
Well, and I can't really speak to specific issues, but just let me say the 30,000-foot view is this. The Mississippi Supreme Court looks at decisions that affect the homes, the lives, the pocketbooks of all Mississippians. And so Mississippians need and deserve justices that will equally and fairly apply the law and apply it just as written, not with any adding to or taking away, if you will. And we call that legislating from the bench. And see, as a state senator, I'm in my third term, I know what it means to legislate. That does not belong on the Mississippi Supreme Court.
That's right around the corner tomorrow. Jeff, I turn to you because you're pretty good at these statistics. How do Mississippians typically do when it comes to a runoff election?
Oh, it's pretty poor as far as the percentage turnout. So I think we had around 300,000 vote
Yep.
in
60% maybe?
Right,
Did
so
we
I think
reach it?
Lauderdale County was 67%, which
Ooh, that's awesome.
which I had said, that we would be somewhere between 60 and 70%. I thought I jinx Senator Branning election night. I'm gonna think. I mean, she spent a lot of time over here.
Yeah.
On this show, being with other media around here. I was actually taking phone calls at the courthouse election night, and about 7:15, that's when the calls kind of just stopped. And so I went out to the courthouse lobby to see what the results were at that particular precinct. This is a pretty heavy Democrat precinct. The courthouse is. Kamala had beaten Trump like 7-1.
That's
All right,
major.
so for every one vote that Trump got, Harris got 7. Well, Senator Branning lost by 1 vote to Kitchens. I called her and I said, you're not going to need a runoff. Now, had we had Scotty Rays in other counties that could get the word out about Senator Branning, I think we wouldn't have had a runoff. But as far as what the turnout will be, I doubt it'll be a third that shows up compared to what was there 3 weeks ago. And so we're talking 50,000 votes would sway the election. I think it may be closer to 15 to 20,000. If she can get 20,000 votes, then she'll win.
And which means if Lauderdale County shows up and others don't, it could by itself alone make a huge difference in this election.
And what's unique about Lauderdale County is this is the only thing that's on the ballot. I would guess that most counties do not have anything else on the ballot, but some do. And so there's just not that much more attention to go back. But
What do you think early voting, absentee voting, has there been a lot of that, or is there a way to gauge that?
I know for Lauderdale County, we were in the 3,000 range,
Right.
and closing out Saturday, we were around 600.
So I realize a lot of people are going to be out of town. I mean, that's something, Thanksgiving week and all that. Well, we encourage everyone, please. You got your grandkids in town. I need to go vote. Carry them with you. Show them what democracy is supposed to work, look like, kids. I mean, have a teachable moment. But
That's right.
please go vote.
We agree, and I want to say thank you to those listeners that did support me on November the 5th. We were overwhelmed by support in Lauderdale County. Senator Tate is just a big part of that, And we just encourage, we need those same people to go back and do this one more time. It will make all the difference in this election for the Mississippi Supreme Court.
How do we do statewide when it comes to typical elections, when it comes to early voting? What did we have on the presidential election number-wise as far as absentee votes? Was it a lot, Jeff, or are you even aware of those numbers at this point?
Well, you have to realize that we had COVID 4 years ago,
right,
and those numbers were just off the chart. Yeah. Off the chart. Everybody wanted to go. And what was crazy is what you had was everybody packing into little courthouses where people were afraid to get out, where you're just going to one place as opposed to spreading out and going to different precincts. So the numbers weren't what they were 4 years ago, and we probably will never see those kind of numbers again. But, typically it's below 10% is your early voting count of what your total turnout is going to be.
Right.
And so we're going to be way below that as far as what it looked like 3 weeks ago. But I think that we'll have a decent turnout here in Lauderdale County. I want all of your listeners and viewers I want to remind them that it's the exact same voting location that you went to last time. You go to the same place, same hours, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You talk about you have your grandkids in town or something like that. Me and my wife, we're going to take Caroline and Ella. We're going to make sure that they see exactly how it is you fill out a ballot, how you scan a ballot. They weren't able to do that last time just because of school and everything, right, but because they're out for Thanksgiving, I encourage everybody to take your kids out with you to do that.
These are big decisions. I know it sounds like, well, it's just one election, but this election affects
important.
you.
What, an 8-year term?
It's an 8-year term of office. That's the longest term of any elected office that we vote on, local, state, or federal. And you think about the number and types of cases that come up before the court in an 8-year term. That's big stuff.
A lot of water goes under a bridge in 8 years, doesn't it?
It does. So we need to get this one right for the future of Mississippi.
Let me ask this, 'cause I genuinely don't know. My high school government teacher probably wouldn't be impressed. If they did not vote November the 5th, can they vote tomorrow?
Yes.
So, I mean, if you were out of town, you were sick, whatever, well, I didn't vote November, you can go vote
I'm
tomorrow.
so happy you asked that question. Many people just don't know. Absolutely get out and vote. If you failed to vote on the 5th for whatever reason, please go to your polling location tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and let's get it done.
So the only confusion may be if we had a primary and you voted in, say, the Democratic primary and then there was a Republican runoff, you cannot switch over and vote. But if you do not vote at all on the first one, you're absolutely open to come back and voting. And again, all you need, driver's license, any government issue photo ID, be one thing on the ballot in Lauderdale County, you'll be in and out quick.
I've had to turn around and go back to the house. And I know that because I've left my wallet before, and I get there road with Angie, and I was like, where is it?
So I was in the election commission when we rolled this out, which was, I think, 2014. This is my funny story that we had. So the Vinville voting precinct, which is Coker's Chapel, down southeast, Gerald Wayne Thompson, old Judge T.
The Honorable Judge
I don't know about that, but Gerald Wayne, he went on down there, and he didn't have his wallet on him.
Uh-oh.
And the woman said, now, Judge, I've changed your diapers on a log before, but I still am told that I have to see your ID before you can vote. He had to go back to his house.
Oh, I bet
get
he's
his
fit to be tied.
We gave him a hard time, but he came back with like 7 different IDs.
I got to know how old the woman was that changed Judge Thompson's diaper on a log. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Gerald Wayne.
She was dressed like a pilgrim.
We'll be right back. J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, with the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
When it comes to enhancing your outdoor experience, you need a companion that can keep up. The Kubota RTV 850 Sidekick at Parrish is your ultimate utility vehicle for every adventure. From the deer camp, trail riding, or just working on the farm, the Sidekick delivers powerful performance and versatility. These units start at $15,499 cash and have a $2,000 rebate. Financing is available as low as $285 a month.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Patrick Allen Companies has a wide selection of garage doors that will fit your style, add value to your home, and add curb appeal to your neighborhood. Patrick Allen also... Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Greg this morning as we begin this. We had some visitors in town on Friday afternoon. The Carthage police came to visit us.
Oh, boy, they didn't feel welcome.
No,
did
they didn't feel too welcome. They left with a dent as we go here to Popeye's Chicken. This is the scene on North Hill Street, Highway 19. Let me reword that. Some major damage there as it looks to be someone pulled out in some shape, form, or way. We had a damaged car over here as well.
Where's that at?
Right there.
By MCC's new tennis.
To McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right there coming out of Popeye's. Well, that's a dangerous little thing. Sometimes it's better to just take a right and go on about your business and miss that. Now, Saturday morning, and I hate to say this, I knew it was there and I couldn't find it. But we had a car that was found stolen, and I didn't know exactly where it was. 7th Avenue is where it ended up being. This would be back behind Dairy Queen. Highway 39, it would be due north of there, back in there on a trail. The police would find the car abandoned, and a lot of people go, well, did people leave their keys in the car? No, this wasn't the case. They had broken the steering column to crank it. It also had multiple gunshot wounds to the vehicle. To be able to enter the car, they knocked out the window with some gunshots there and borrowed it there. Took some joy rides. That was not the only one we had over the weekend. Let me see here. Let me find this. We had another stolen car. I was out at the big going on in Collinsville and got a text message and said, you ought to come back to town. We got a car chase going on. And that we did. Ooh. Here it is. This is after the car comes to arrest. And you go, well, what do you mean by that? Here's the police on the scene. Here's a little video. As you'll see, the car is right down here. As the police were chasing them, they decided, well, we're going to give the car up and jumped out the car. Left it rolling, and it just rolled back down the hill into the bushes.
And you wonder why insurance is so high. It's crap like this, having to pay off these vehicles. And all that. Every time they steal a car, you can just hear the cha-ching because your insurance is going up. It's got to come from somewhere.
Last seen, they were still on foot getting it. No arrests have been made in that crime over the weekend.
And we've hit this ball back and forth before. I thought with technology like it is nowadays, I understand. Remember back when you had the square key for the ignition and the round key for the door, and they'd knock the ignition and crank them with a screw. Nowadays, everything's computer. I mean, I thought if you had that key fob and nobody could steal your vehicle.
I don't know the answer to that.
We need to have one of those automotive geniuses come on here and explain this to me real slow. Because I thought with computer technology that you couldn't.
Well, I watched Gone in 60 Seconds. You remember they got the computer chips that they would program to a car. And I don't know if that's what it is.
If you're smart enough to do that, you ought to get a real job instead of being out here stealing cars.
That's the thing. They don't have a real job. They have plenty of time to think all that kind of stuff up.
And you know, key codes, people, they I don't know, also Gone in 60 Seconds, you remember the garage door going down and the woman hits the button and they have a scanner and it gets the code of the garage door.
You sure watch a lot of TV.
Well, that was years ago. That was before we started.
That was a good movie, though. Nicolas Cage. Yeah. And Angelina Jolie.
Eleanor. Did you watch Eleanor?
That's the Mustang.
Yeah. Well, it was a pretty car. But there are people out there that do this each and every day, and they read up on it. There's some vehicles that you walk up to, and you can take a screwdriver and tap it, and it knocks the door, you know, where you put your key in? There's a hook right behind it. Then you take your finger in and go like that, and the car is open. They study this stuff as to what's to get.
And again, if they would put their time to something good, like what a change they could make. You know, that's what I've always said about these people they catch stealing copper. They'll work themselves to death stealing $10 worth of copper. And if they'd have used that same amount of time, they could have got a $25 an hour job under an air conditioner somewhere. But
they don't think that way, do they?
I don't get it, people.
It's a little bit of laziness involved.
Get a job.
That would cure a lot there. We'll get the statistics over the weekend of how many cars were stolen. And I would almost venture out to say that is one of the bigger crimes that we have in this city is stolen cars. I think it's high. It's just hard for me to get the true numbers of what's going on with that. I'm going to start tracking that harder next year.
And it's hard for me to get used to locking up. For years,
Oh,
you
yeah.
pull up, window down, whatever.
Leave
you
the key in it.
Go in a convenience store, leave it running, stand around in there, lie about fishing and hunting or whatever.
Yeah.
Your vehicle's sitting out there running. I mean, you didn't think nothing about it. And I can remember going, oh, Lord, I'm getting old now. Go downtown on the weekend, you know, the window shopping. Everything was downtown. And you'd leave the car parked with the windows down, usually the keys in it. You didn't think nothing about it.
Here's one. I'll give you an example of this. And I think a lot of people know Justin Watt. He's a mechanic here in town. Good friend of mine. Known him forever. I can call him up and make a noise, and he'll go, yeah, this is what it is. And he's good at it. But he went, I don't know, this was about 2 to 3 years ago. He was going to North Mississippi to buy a vehicle. He goes up to see it, pulls into a convenience store, has his diesel truck running, goes in there, gets his son a coat, and they come back and they drive off. An hour later, he opens his armrest, and the cash that he had in there to go buy the vehicle was stolen that quick by somebody standing in front of the store. Grabs it and runs with it. He never got his money back.
No.
Didn't buy the car either. He was sort of short on cash, so to speak.
It's sad that you got to tie down, lock up, everything. Again, people, get a job.
Speaking of accidents, Newell Road, everybody knows where this is, North Hill Street, as you're going toward, well, up your way.
That's
we
right.
had a fender bender there over the weekend at the stop sign. Little Yoda got some damage there involved with this wreck, and with this, it was 2 Yodas that met in the evening time,
That's
you
two
might say.
tough vehicles.
Yes, sir. A 4Runner, and that may have been a Highlander. But right there on the side of the road there, as we see that little accident as it happened.
Another intersection you got to pay attention to.
Nick's daughter had a wreck there not long ago, if you remember. Judge Lacey, they had a little fender bender there. It's hard to get out from time to
We got
time.
to bring up some better judges. We need to get her elected so we can talk about good judges. Between Lacey and Thompson, this is just going downhill fast.
It's going quick. Speaking of, let me pull this up. Let me get down here to where this is. I wanted to say congratulations. We pulled for winner last week from Pinch and Tail.
Okay, so we're making a run today. We need to talk about this. So this will be probably our last run until Christmas. We'll do a special run for Christmas. We're making a seafood run now. You can contact us on Facebook, or you can get us by phone. But anyway, by noon today, we need to have all our orders in for our fresh seafood. We'll be serving from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow and 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday for your Thanksgiving pickup. So doing a little special run this weekend for that, and then we'll shut it down. Some of us have got some a couple of us in this room have got some stores we got to tend to between now and the 31st of December.
Yeah, that's coming.
But we'll also make a run just before Christmas.
And if you forgot to lay that turkey out, Jeff's got you covered. Go buy, man.
That shrimp.
That big old boiled shrimp, man. That'd be start a new Thanksgiving tradition.
That's right.
Jeff, what's your most popular item purchased?
Well, right now it's going to be the shrimp. In other words, we've got a good 26, 30 count shrimp that people just love. It is spiced just right.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
I've tried shrimp from other places, and it is no comparison. And I promise you, I put my hand on the Bible on this. It is the best I've had. It bar none.
Miss Angie sure does like it. I know that.
Man, and it gets potatoes with it. So it is
Got that country pleasing sausage.
Yeah.
It's we got some good cooking over there. I promise you.
drop in. Can't miss it. Right across from Subway.
Right across from Subway, right next door to Little Griddle. Marion's kind of growing. You think about it, 5 years ago, there was no Pinch and Tails, there was no Federal Credit Union, no Subway, no
that is a
the
new
pharmacy.
The bank isn't that new right there?
So that's an ITM, not an ATM, but an ITM.
What's that
basically
mean?
during, I don't know, but
Makes me mad.
well, what it is, it's an ATM that if you go to it during banking hours, you can hit a button and a real person in Meridian who speaks English will be there to talk you through, and anything you can do at a teller, you can do right there. So it's a pretty cool deal. It stays busy.
I didn't realize technology.
Kind of like a self-checkout.
There you go.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Call them. They'll take care of you there. All in Marion. See them. We'll be right back because we got a lot more coming up this morning. We had someone that was struck over the weekend by a vehicle. We'll talk about that. Jenifer's here with us, and we're going to go back in history. And, well, we've never tested Jenifer. Jeff did it last time. We'll see what she knows. All on the way here at the Scotty Ray Report. J&J Tire Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, with the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
Looking for a deal you can't pass up? Right now, drive off in a quality used car for just $299 down and only $299 a month here at Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Meridian. That's right, good reliable cars packed with features at a price you'll love. $299 down, $299 a month. Look, I'm not kidding. This is a real offer that our customers have taken advantage of for years now. Come see us today, Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Meridian.
Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Greg, and we're having a good time. We're so glad that you're a part of it. We're going to do some history in just a second. We wanted to point out, what's that got your tickle box going?
I'm just, okay.
Jenifer, what about absentee voting? We had someone ask about that.
We did. I saw a question that popped up. Absentee voting ended Saturday at noon. So your next opportunity to vote is tomorrow at your polling precinct, the same place you voted on November the 5th.
So make sure to do that.
Yes.
I was sitting back this weekend, and I walked through the kitchen.
Oh, you sat down?
I passed through.
Oh, okay.
And I looked up on the large screen TV at the back of the room was Andy. And it was the episode where Andy was explaining to the group of boys and you know how Andy would put it in his own terms, of the British is coming. That guy named Paul Revere, when he jumped on the horse that he ran to. And he told it so differently than anybody else. He told it as a countryside. Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, ain't that when he had besmudged Miss Helen Crump's character with them kids and
told him history wasn't important.
Wasn't that important, and he had to do some digging to get out of that hole he'd created.
And he talked about how Paul Revere jumped to the horse, and it was this day that they finally whipped. The last one left New York City. It was 1783. As they left there in General George Washington. And I was telling y'all before we went live, Paul Harvey did a story on that years and years ago of General going down the streets. And you've got to remember what he was going through. A lot of people tried to throw General George Washington out. They said he wasn't capable of running the Army. He didn't have enough volunteers. And that winter there, it almost didn't make it. Yeah, it got pretty serious there. Yeah. But he prevailed. And goes down in history as one of the best we ever had.
We need to remember our founding fathers that John Adams wrote to his wife Abigail that on July the 4th that illuminations should be shot every year for that.
There you go.
That was the word back then, illuminations.
To
so
celebrate.
They call it different words now. I don't know exactly what that is, but illuminations is what they called it back then.
Well, we are illuminating people.
Yes, y'all are. Y'all are both that. There's a guy named Joe DiMaggio. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? DiMaggio. Did I say it right?
I don't know.
Somebody said he played baseball, but who cares? He was married to Marilyn Monroe. It was today. He was born in 1914. He did a lot with baseballs, but he'll go down as that man married to Marilyn. Let's just be honest about it. She was a beautiful woman, wasn't she?
The plane.
1920. Who doesn't remember this from the 70s? Boss, as you put it, as we go back to remember. It was Ricardo Montalban. Is that how you say his name?
That sounds good.
Pretty close. And he also peddled Chrysler cars on the side. You remember that?
Yeah.
I'd almost forgotten about that commercial when I saw that face.
That Chrysler K car.
Yeah.
Talking about what a good car. Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing that.
Ooh. sun. That right there.
Probably one of the most romantic songs that was ever out there.
That's that belly rubbing music.
Yes, sir. Blamed for half the population of Clarkdale.
That's right.
Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman.
Man,
1940, Percy was born. That was good music.
good music. He could sing a French fry commercial. Have you swaying.
There you go. I did not realize this. Baba Black Sheep. Now, I and Robert Conrad, put a thing on my shoulder, batteries, if y'all remember. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, the Energizer deal where they put the...
Knock it off my shoulder.
Yeah, okay.
He also, this guy was, remember Night Court? Do y'all remember that? John Larquette?
What was it, Bull?
Yes. This guy was in all that. I didn't realize he was in Boston Legal and The Practice and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I remember
can't say
him.
I've seen any of
Yeah.
that.
I didn't watch them. I knew they existed. I don't know.
I bet he was in the 8th grade before he could spell his last name.
That's a tough one. That show Law and Order. Wouldn't you rather just watch paint peel?
Test of the emergency broadcast system.
I really.
A lot of
it has-
people love that show, though.
know,
It's
but-
weird. I don't prescribe to it, but a lot of people love it.
It's been a long
there's-
time, but I have to say that is my jam.
You watch it?
If I
Really?
had time and I was going to watch something, that would be top of the list
My
for me.
problem with it is they'll cut to a scene. There's never emotion. It's just the facts. It's like Joe Friday. That's the facts,
Just
man.
the facts,
And they
well.
just stare. And I'm like, come on. I need somebody with a little bit of oomph to it. But a favor to y'all.
Personality of a judge is who needs a good judge.
There you go.
I guess
there
that
you go.
appeals to me.
This next guy, he was. Do you remember watching Clint Eastwood's Honky Tonk Man? Marty Robbins was in it.
I can't say I remember that.
Pretty, and it was really about. It was about a singer who had cancer and was dying. It was his last
yeah,
hurrah.
okay. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
This guy was in it, and he would also later. He was the kid that drove the car, that drove Clint Eastwood around. He would later grow up to be in Batman. Y'all remember this guy, Tracy Walter?
Yeah.
That was the Joker's right-hand man.
Yeah. He's not the most handsome fellow you'll bump
No,
into
he could
today.
use a shave and a haircut.
Yes, he could.
Michael Keaton was the best Batman. Y'all asked
I
that a
agree
few
with
weeks
that.
ago, okay? So that's him, then Christian Bale,
Yeah.
and then everybody else is just junk. So unless you want to have Adam West in there, who played
Adam West, the
okay.
original.
I don't
But-
think I've ever watched any of them.
Have you? But Michael Keaton, and I urge everybody, if you want to see a good rerun, go back and watch The Other Guys with Will Ferrell, where he's a detective. It's funny.
It's hilarious.
It is really, really funny. The guys
The
that stole the
pageantry.
Prius. Amy Grant, y'all remember her? She has a birthday today. She was born in 1960. Christian singer. Married to.
She married to Vince Gill.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Yeah, she looked like she did her hair with an egg beater.
JFK was born on this day in 1960. He was known as the most eligible bachelor for the longest, and he would pass away in that plane crash, if y'all remember that. I was shocked when that happened. Without a doubt there. 1963, 3 years later, his father would be buried on his birthday.
That's sad.
It is. One of the saddest moments in American history as we look back at that. Will we ever know the truth to that? Most likely not.
We pretty well know.
Jack
but
Ruby.
There's more to that story. He was hired, I think, to get away with any other evidence that could be told.
Yeah, I believe that too. And Trump actually said that he's going to open up the
Wouldn't that be
JFK
good?
files. Oh man, it would be good. Now I don't know what that. You know, there's been some redacting and some other things, no matter what. But yeah, that'll be something to look for. He said that he'd do it.
We'll see. He's got a bunch of them scared right now of what's coming January 20th. They are scared. Christina Applegate, do y'all remember her? Kelly?
Yeah,
Al
absolutely.
Bundy.
Yeah, you could blow in one ear and it'd blow her hair on the other side.
Refill.
She was born in 71. Bless her heart, she's been sick. I think
Yeah,
she's breast cancer. is that
Breast
right?
cancer is some type of cancer. Mhm.
She's recovering, but it's been a tough road for her.
That was a staple at my house growing up. We only had about 4 channels down in Causeyville.
Yeah.
that was on one of them. I think it was CBS.
Al just really represented the American man.
Now,
He
this-
couldn't get ahead.
Now, didn't Ken Rainey have a show on CBS where he had music videos?
He did.
And then right after that,
Yeah,
Married
sure
with Children
did.
would come on, right? Yeah, that's my childhood right there.
I'd almost forgotten about Ken having that show. That was after he had left One Radio. Yeah, and then after 95.
Yeah.
I worked with him over there also. But
It's back when Those are good times, right?
It was. Slap the biscuits. Ken, how'd you say it? Slap the biscuits against the
Tell
TV?
Mama to slap the biscuits against the TV because I'm headed home.
Yeah, that was it. Now, I'm not going to lie. This woman, you'd have to sneak up on her with the light switch off. There's just no other way to put it, Greg. But she sure could sing.
The Kindles.
Yeah. Heaven's Just Sent Away. You remember that?
Yep.
She had a number one today. Her and her daddy, Sweet Desire, went number one back in 1978. His name was Royce.
You've got that shirt, don't you?
That's a Sunday shirt.
They tried to sell me one. I was in Twisted Tea, and they told me it was the latest thing. And, you know, I'm kind of this is like edgy for me.
You're definitely a vanilla guy.
I like it one color, and it's real hard to find one color.
Well, they got some that you got to recharge.
Yes, sir, it was bright. But she tells me that I need to step into the future and wear one of those. I got to go back.
I like that guy.
Just put a bulletproof vest over it. Be all right.
Get one of those. Back in 81, Jack Alberson dies. You remember him from Chico and the Man, and also from Willy Wonka.
He also played in an episode of Gunsmoke.
What did he play?
He was a drunk pool hustler. You
I'll
remember that? You ought to remember that episode.
I don't remember that one.
I think I'm
All right.
correct.
So that was the granddad for Charlie, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard there's stories out there about how, he's bedridden and all that, and all of a sudden you get this ticket and he's up and going. So
He sure was.
There's some stories there, street
Let
talk.
me ask, do you remember the episode of Gunsmoke to where the guy that comes into town and tells Matt that he owes him a favor? He'd saved Matt's life when Matt was a real young guy, and he ended up being a criminal, and Matt has to do the right thing at the end. Do you remember that episode? Okay. Boy, it was a good one. 1985. We go back for John Snyder. It just come out of nowhere.
I know.
It just hit my
That
head.
happens to
I
the
had
guy.
to say it.
What did that have to do with
It
anything?
didn't have anything to do with anything. This is the show about nothing sometimes.
Huh?
Seinfeld 2.0.
Yeah.
That's right.
We go back to 85, John Snyder. What's a memory like you doing here? As we go
I
back?
liked his music.
He was
I guess
good.
Me and two more probably, but I liked his music.
It was may have been that Christmas party that he went to that changed things that year.
Well, he should have carried Daisy with him.
He should have.
That's right.
John was probably one of the best country girls. Wow. His career
Something about
compared.
Tupelo honey.
Yeah, had one of them there. Let's go back to 1986. This rocked America. Anybody remember the Iran-Contra? It was revealed today in 86.
It's amazing what we thought back then was conspiracy and hiding things, and look at the way it is now.
I know. I never watched this movie.
I ain't watching that either.
It just didn't do it for me. I know it was big. Tom Selleck was the lead character, which helped get people to it, but I never watched it. 3 Men and a Baby.
My
Ted
favorite
Danza.
Tom Selleck is the Sackets.
Is the what?
The Sackets.
What's
the
that mean?
Western. You never don't remember the
Quigley
Western?
Down Under?
No, he and Sam Elliott
Oh,
played
okay.
in the Sackets.
Yes.
Probably my favorite Western. I like it better than Lonesome Dove, honestly. I
Really?
mean, it's good.
Did you watch Quigley?
Yeah.
And you like it better than Quigley?
Yeah, where he licks that side. on
man,
that.
wasn't he good?
Oh, yeah.
Never told you I couldn't shoot a pistol. Just
Hey.
said I didn't like it.
Yeah, he got that from R.W. Because you got to be good to shoot one of his.
1987. I never watched this either. I remember watching clips of it and thinking, I cannot watch this. But for some reason, it's acclaimed to be.
I've seen that.
Did you like
And
it?
it Danny
No, that's what's his name, the Uncle Buck guy.
John Candy.
Steve Martin. I know I've seen that.
It just didn't do it for me. Did y'all like it?
I
like him in
watched it.
Uncle Buck.
I don't recall it just being my favorite. But,
It just wasn't one of those good Christmas ones that
Yeah.
you want to see every year. It's not like National
Or
Lampoon.
Die Hard or anything like that.
You remember him on Andy Griffith?
I do. Flip
Teach-
Wilson.
Teaching them how to play. Opie wanted to have piano lessons, but he also wanted to play football, and Andy was going to make him stick with, and he'd come in and explain that he could do more than one thing.
I'll be dog. Flip Wilson was funny. I think he had a character named Geraldine, if I remember right, back in the 70s. Long time ago. 1995, this would hit theaters, and it's one of those when I'm flipping, I got to stop and watch it every time it comes on because Farmer was just really good at what he did. The Bodyguard opened up in theaters today. Kevin Costner. This would be pre-Dutton days. Boy, here's a mug shot that we got to share. Gentle on My Mind ended up gentle in jail today back in 2002. Glenn Campbell arrested for DUI. 2002, It would be released to radio today. Probably one of the. Now, Deeper Than a Holler was good, and on the other hand, but boy,
1982, and on the other hand, is the best he ever could.
You like it better than Three Ring Crosses?
Absolutely.
What a story this song told. It would eventually become his latest number one.
I didn't say it was bad.
I
just
just
said
said
it wasn't my favorite.
But on the other hand, boy, that just really painted a picture too.
He's got some good Christmas music too.
He does. Bob Dylan prank happened in 2010. He showed up. Somebody ordered $4,000 worth of pizza. Said deliver them. He didn't really do it. Y'all remember that big prank?
No.
It was
I don't.
worldwide about that.
If he comes on, it's time for me to change stations.
2006. Yeah, not my favorite. He can't sing.
Well, you can't
Let's
understand nothing he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's like that guy from The Water Boy.
Yeah, sounds just like the old dude.
Yeah. You go,
Home
what?
where you make it.
Do y'all remember this show?
Like Coach O.
If you remember this guy, Ron Glass passed away. Barney Miller TV show.
I didn't care for that show.
And let's just get to the. Did y'all watch Yellowstone last night?
Yes,
No.
twice.
Y'all haven't watched.
I've watched it, but I haven't. I didn't even know. I guess season premiered last night or something.
Dramatic. And spoiler alert. Go ahead and cover your ears here if you haven't watched the show. But and the way they worded it was another main character is taken out of the show. She wasn't a main character. She was just mean and devious.
Yeah,
Gets her due.
I didn't cry when she.
But so with this being said, do you see what's his name? The brother, the bad one. That's the attorney general.
The one that looks like a fruit basket.
One's named Casey. That's the
Casey,
Dixie
He's the
one,
cool
right?
one.
Casey's the
Cowboy.
art. See, that's
And
that's
then-
how much Yellowstone I know. Is there's one named Casey.
Yeah, and I can never remember his name. It's the attorney general. Do you think he's going to get his due? Are they coming after him?
He would be better off in jail than his sister whooping him every time she sees him.
It's coming.
Every time she sees him, she hits him. Jamie is his
Jamie,
name.
that's right.
That every time, yeah. It's all right. Did you check out that? I tried watching that Landman.
Yeah.
That ain't bad, is
No,
it?
it's just got some strong language.
I just can't believe you got still long enough
Yeah.
to watch a TV show.
Well, I put everything on
recorded.
pause, and I called somebody and said, "Can you kind of watch things while I watch this one episode?" And I had somebody volunteer to help me last night.
You did say it was a slow weekend.
It
so
was. It was very
I wonder
slow.
if it was
But boy, in Landman, I watched about 15 minutes of it last night.
yeah, no,
Now I got to say, anybody that goes, "Go ahead and slice my finger off," is tough. He went to the emergency room. The doctor started telling him he's going to have to do all this, and he takes it,
reconstructive surgeries and all
He
that. Said,
whopped
no,
it,
I
and he
don't
goes-
think so.
sew it up.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
He was very tough there. But last night, the opening season of Yellowstone was mediocre. That last 15 minutes was good. Last night, the majority of that show, they do so much of that going back in time.
Yeah,
they
I
need to
don't
get rid of
like-
that.
I have a hard time keeping up with what's happening in the present.
Correct.
We don't need to confuse Greg by going back. Yeah.
Johnny says that Beth is going to take him to the train station. Something is coming, and it's going to be serious. They've proven now that he's questionable in his death.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Jamie should be scared after she rolled. And always be careful that somebody you don't know rolling down the window if you got enemies. That's what happened to her. We'll be right back.
She should have.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
The most wonderful time of the year is just around the corner, and Al's Garden and Gift is ready for a magical Christmas season. From sparkling Christopher Radko ornaments to custom wreaths by Wanda, we've got your holiday decor covered. Looking for the perfect gift? Try our custom baskets packed with treats like Mississippi cheese straws and old-fashioned peppermint sticks. And be sure to add vibrant colors to your outdoors with pansies and snapdragons. Charm and beauty await your home this wonderful season. Merry Christmas from Al's Garden and Gift.
At Pettit Jewelers in Philadelphia, Mississippi, trust Nicole with your priceless heirloom jewelry. With generations of refined expertise, she ensures your cherished pieces are meticulously cared for. Pettit Jewelers, Philadelphia.
The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low mileage cars and trucks. How about a 2022 Jeep Wrangler or a 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport with only 40,000 miles? A GMC Denali or a 2024 Silverado 2500? Drop in today and find the car that you're looking for. They're packed with low mileage cars and trucks.
The low profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Don't forget, it could just be a rumor that Odie is off practicing this. The show is coming up on Tuesday night as we get ready for ballet at the Temple Theater. Come on out. We're not sure if he's got his tights on and is practicing this morning or not. I can just see him doing his little toes across the Temple
Well, he was
Theater.
in the Nutcracker, so it wouldn't
was.
surprise me if he's in this also.
That's right. Tights will cause that.
I'm going to let you go.
Tuesday.
I'm going to let that go.
What now?
I'm going to let that go. Fast forward.
6 o'clock is when it'll open. The show starts at 7 p.m. next Tuesday night. Go buy tickets are available for the big show. I hope you'll enjoy it.
Isn't it this
LA.
Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
This Tuesday, yeah, tomorrow. It's election.
My
my girls have
today
tickets.
was Friday for a moment.
So go vote and then go to
vote
the
and
main.
Right,
Yeah.
go vote
Uh-huh.
first and
So-
then go to the show.
As we talk about voting, this is kind of the last hour, as they say, before Mississippians make their plans for tomorrow, what they're going to be doing, and you urge them to go.
That's right. We need everybody to get out and vote. Tomorrow is the last chance to vote in this very important election for the Mississippi Supreme Court. And you know, it's up to the voters of Mississippi. Do you want a constitutional conservative on your Supreme Court? If so, please vote Jenifer Branning tomorrow.
Now, polls will open up at 7 o'clock.
That's right.
And go through 7 p.m.
That's correct. So they have a 12-hour span tomorrow in which to work in just a few minutes to vote. There's only one thing on the ballot here, and that is the Mississippi Supreme Court race. So you should be in and out of your polling location in just a few minutes.
If someone was to walk up to you and say, "Tell me why I should vote for you instead of the man that's running against you,"
Sure.
what would be your answer?
Well, and I think
I think I can say it better than she can because she's
Put it out there.
obligated to not say a few things that I can say.
that's
Is that
fine.
fair
Go right
enough?
ahead. Go ahead.
One candidate has been endorsed by the Republican Party, and that's Senator Branning right here. One candidate, we can't find it in writing, but everybody's heard it, that Congressman Benny Thompson has endorsed her opponent. I don't know how much that really helps. We're trying to find it. I think they're trying to hide that's happened.
Sometimes you don't like endorsements.
I will say that you have a candidate that has voted at the Democratic primary every single time we have had a Democratic primary in her opponent, and every single time we've had a Republican primary, she has only voted Republican. Those are things that and you wonder why I'm here right now. Well, as a judicial candidate, she just cannot say certain things. She can't ask for money for fundraising. I'm here to say right now that if you have any donations that you'd like to give to Senator Branning, she has a lot of campaign debt that she needs to be taken care of. And she's done a great campaign. She's done a great job fundraising. She can't ask for funds like that. And so
Yeah, there's laws that you just can't.
that's right. And I'll tell you this. If there was anybody in that Senate chamber that I could trade my voting record with, it would be Senator Branning. But we vote alike so much that there's not much change that would be there. But to be honest with you, it probably would be better in my interest had I voted with her more than whenever I'd go my own way. But she's very conservative. She's Republican. She's Christian. She's a family woman, experienced over 2 decades as a practicing attorney in Philadelphia. We went around to some of the banks a few weeks ago during the campaign, and everybody was like, finally, we have a face with a name because of how quick she is on all of her closings.
Right.
And she runs a heck of a business, too. Now, you could have said some of those things, but some of those
Thank
things
you.
you couldn't. But I'll just say that I fully endorse Jenifer Branning. If you're a Republican and you want a conservative to be on the Supreme Court, this is who you vote for. If you want a liberal to be on the Supreme Court, then don't vote for her. Vote for Kitchens.
Anything you want to add to that, Jenifer?
I do. I'd like to kind of unpack some of the experience. I think that's probably gotten glossed over a little bit in the campaign. You know, for 2 decades, I've had my law practice in Philadelphia, which is a small town. As a small town practitioner, I've had to learn a little bit about everything to be able to serve the people in my community. So I do have courtroom experience in all the trial courts in Mississippi. That includes the youth court system, where I've done a lot of guardian ad litem work and special prosecutor work, representing the needs of abused and neglected children all throughout Mississippi, and that's important stuff. And then we've got the circuit court system, the chancery court system. I've done a little bit of everything, coupled with 9 years worth of legislative service to the people of the state of Mississippi. Now, why is that important, having served in the legislature? Well, for 9 years now, I know what it means to be a lawmaker, to make policy, to make laws. And that does not belong in the Mississippi Supreme Court. That's been the primary concern of everybody involved. You know, the fact that there are 5 people in the race in the beginning tells you that Mississippians want to change.
Correct.
And the way that the vote count turned out on November the 5th, this is very important for everybody to know. 2/3 of the people that cast their ballot on November the 5th voted for someone other than the incumbent. So Mississippians are getting on board for the desire and the need for a new generation of constitutional conservative leadership on the Mississippi Supreme Court. That's why they should vote for me and support me. I've got the experience, the energy, and the work ethic to serve Mississippians well on the court.
24 hours from now is when all this will happen. Tomorrow morning, as you're thinking about turkey and picking people up, don't forget to vote. Plan that in your day.
It's
Do
important.
it first. Or
And the thing, like she said, it's 8 years, people. It ain't going to be a little 4-year, well, if we don't like it. This is for an 8-year term.
Right.
somebody said you don't need a teleprompter. You're right.
She doesn't.
You know these things. You work with it every single day.
That's correct. It's important for the people of Mississippi. So I appreciate everyone's support, all the listeners. You all have been so good to me. Let's get back out and do this one more time. Let's get it done.
We'll be right back. More coming up as we travel along this morning.
While everyone is getting ready for Thanksgiving, family, and football, there's an important runoff election coming up on November the 26th. I'm Jenifer Branning. It's time to bring new energy in a new generation of constitutional conservative leadership to the Mississippi Supreme Court. In this election, there's a difference. I'm the only candidate with legislative and courtroom experience, and I'm the only candidate endorsed by the Mississippi Republican Party. I ask for your vote for Supreme Court the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
Spin the winners back at Kia Meridian. Come in and buy a new or used vehicle, you spin the wheel and win a great prize.
We got Nintendos.
We have 55-inch TVs. Who's got gas?
Gas card, guys. Gas card.
You sure about that?
You can spin from now until the Christmas.
You can't help but laugh. I don't care who you are. As we mentioned, there was an accident on Friday night near College Drive, Highway 19. We had someone that was struck by a vehicle. And, of course, we kept the cameras to where you couldn't see what was actually going on there. But it was not as serious as it could have been. He was down in the roadway for quite some time as the ambulance arrived on scene. Minor injuries is the way I would word it. It was not life-threatening from what I saw and watched there on the highway, but still not good to be struck by a car. Not sure why he walked out in front of it. And again, the guy that hit him was distraught, and I would have been too had that happened. And it can happen at the blink of an eye. That was on Friday night as we do that. Yesterday morning, I woke up to fire truck sounding, so we took off, and here we went. This is where we would end up yesterday. If you'll see there, let me pause this.
I see a little smoke.
Right here. And Greg, this is where you come in. Let's talk a minute about heaters. And as it gets cold, and next week, December 1st, is going to be bad.
Well, let me explain something, or just Greg's opinion. 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, you got all day to deal with it. Fire up your heater now and make sure it works. Get the coils, the dust, burn off the coils and all that. Don't wait till the temperature drops and cut it on at 11 o'clock at night and go to bed. Test your heaters. Vacuum what you're supposed to vacuum. Do what you're supposed to do. Follow your safety instructions. And make sure, one of the biggest things we have is people drying, believe this or not, but it's true. They want to dry clothes on a space heater.
Yeah.
Or go warm up little Timmy's jacket before he goes outside. Well, then Yellowstone just came on, and guess what? You just scorched the house. Be careful with extension cords, especially this time of year. People putting up Christmas trees, Christmas lights, and plugging up heaters to extension cords. That's a no-no. Be careful. test your heaters, use them for what they're supposed to be used for.
That's right.
And I would say cut them off when you leave home, but that's just me.
Yeah. Let's go to Friday Night Lights. Let's go to West Lauderdale High School. Have y'all seen this yet?
Yeah, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Let's hit play on this. This is the last few seconds of the game, and the ball goes up in the air and touchdown.
Somebody caught it.
To say
great.
that they
was
were
amazing.
excited is beyond. And I want to go an extra step here, Greg. And let me show this too.
Oh, yeah.
You don't often see it. It is. Look at this.
Yeah.
This was on the field there. Big thank you to them for doing that. They went up to the opposite team, stayed with him as he was hurt, and trying to help him out there. You don't see that every day.
You don't. That is so classy.
Yeah, so
Love that.
So now does that send them to the state championship now?
you got me. I'm not sure on
Okay.
that. Does
I
somebody
think
know?
that's right.
Ole Miss is not going. We hear.
Scotty Ray.
Was that bad? I should have brought that up. Mississippi State ain't going. Well, they wasn't going anywhere anyway. What about?
Ole Miss is buying tickets.
Ole Miss
for
threw about
Alabama.
4.
Is Alabama going?
Not unless they buy a ticket.
Who is in the playoffs?
But you got Oregon, Georgia,
Ohio State.
Tennessee, Ohio State. Was it somebody, Indiana? Or
Indiana
somebody
got
like
beat
that?
by Ohio
Indiana?
State. They were undefeated, but then they got beat by Ohio State. That may be their head coach. He's got my attention. Every program he goes to, he's winning, and to take Indiana for the first time for a 10-game season where they've won 10 games already, that was something. And he said, whenever he got hired, he said, Google me. All I do is win. But the way that he said it, it was more than just cocky. It was like, this dude's speaking with some
Facts is
authority.
facts.
And then he signed a big extension, and they said, why are you signing this extension with Indiana when you can go to some real program? And he said, why would I go to some real program? Indiana is the next powerhouse of college football. So he's standing behind his brand.
Well, there you go. I sent Odie a message last night because I don't know, because Ole Miss has been Black Bears, a land shark where they do their hand on, and I was kind of confused. And then last night on Facebook I saw a squirrel with an Ole Miss jersey on,
Have you not
on top
seen
of somebody.
they've had 2 or maybe 3 games where the squirrel has run out on the field.
Oh, is that what that's about?
And they had to stop play
Okay.
to herd the squirrel, which probably was one of my favorite parts of the game. But anyhow, didn't Ray Stevens have a song
Pascagoula
about
or
that?
something like that.
Sleepy little town of Pascagoula.
Yeah, they had a revival over it, right?
They sure did.
Yeah, the day the squirrel went to church.
I forgot all about that. I didn't know that had happened. So that explains the squirrel outfit of on top of a gator last night that I saw. Thank you for clarifying that. Hotty toddy.
There's your said to go to North State.
North State Championship Friday night at West Lauderdale against Louisville. The winner of that game goes to state championship. South State. Boy, there's a lot of different terms there being used there. North State, South State. But game Friday night at West Lauderdale. It should be big. We invite everybody to come out to that game.
That's right.
Hope there's a big winner there. Let's see if there was anything else that we wanted to say. This is one of those things that goes to a bunch of charities. I went to Lauderdale this weekend.
Hunters.
Yeah. This was at Gateway Church, and this is, let me just blow this up and just show you the food.
Some good folks there.
Oh, it was. And as we walked down this, they had 2 aisles of all this food.
Well, I see ham and dressing.
Don't you just love ham?
I do.
I can just eat it all times.
Oh, yeah.
You just walk by the refrigerator, whop out a piece.
I look like some of that giblet gravy.
I believe it was there. As we are professional food connoisseurs,
That's right.
that is sort of what went on over the weekend. Let's see. We'll have some more things coming up. We'll be behind the scenes today. Oh, one last thing. Let's talk about deer season.
It's open.
It is, and they know it. It's so bad they went swimming this weekend. I don't know if everybody's seen this.
Yeah.
Here it goes. This is Oak Tibby. This fella's he's got one horn, right?
That's what it looked like to me, yeah.
Here he comes. He kind of stops and checks out the situation. And it must be kind of shallow out there.
Well, you think?
I'm just...
Either that or he's walking on water.
But he's going to make it to land here. Again, this was out at Oak Tibby this
You
weekend.
better be careful when them alleyman gators will be done chalked him.
Oh, you ain't lying. live from that.
But it was a beautiful weekend, and I encourage everyone, get out, carry a kid hunting, will you? And make it more about the kid than about the hunting. They're going to kick the side of the shooting house. They're going to make noise with the Christmas tree cakes they're opening. But you know what? It's okay. They're going to be making memories. If I could encourage you anything this holiday season, carry a kid hunting and enjoy the outdoors. And just because I was blessed with a daughter, little girls like to hunt too.
They sure do. I'm one of those.
I got one of those that won the big buck contest in 2014 because she likes to hunt. Get outside with your kids, and if anything, make them leave their phone in the truck and communicate. That was free.
There it was. We got a couple of birthdays that rolled in this morning here. Penny Owen having a birthday from Scuba, and we got another one there. Randy Rigdon, oh, have mercy, all the way from Kemper County. Well, as always, as we close out, I want you to give us one last final reason to go vote tomorrow.
Tomorrow is a big day in Mississippi elections for the Mississippi Supreme Court for an 8-year term. And I'm Jenifer Branning, running as the only constitutional conservative in the race. And I'm just asking for everyone's vote and support. We need you to go vote, but we also need you to take someone with you tomorrow. The polls open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Let's get out, everyone, and vote and participate in this very important election.
Jeff, I appreciate you coming in this morning and helping out with all this.
I appreciate it, and just encourage everybody. Remember, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., have your photo ID, same place you voted 3 weeks ago. If for some reason you were one of the few that didn't go vote 3 weeks ago, you can still vote tomorrow. So get out there from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., vote Jenifer Branning.
Now, I know we don't have a Bible verse lined up, but I'm going to let you close this out and tell us why we're here, Greg.
Because of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And at this time of the year when you get anxious and a lot of time, family squabbles break out and you're condensed into a smaller, love one another, forgive one another, be good to each other. God loves you, so do we. Y'all have a good day. And again, slow down, quit texting, and everybody going to be all right, and go vote tomorrow.
We'll see you then.